Welcome to a brand new episode of the Fight Lounge. I'm your host RJ Mees, and on this episode, I will talk about the update on the KSI versus Logan Paul 2 match. Before I start, I want to apologize for the buzzing sound you might hear in the background. It looks like I might need to get a new recording headset, but it shouldn't be that bad. It shouldn't distract you from this episode. And if it is, I apologize, and I will try to have a new pair by the next episode. But yeah, if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to us on YouTube, Fight Lounge, IG, Fight Lounge, and Twitter on Fight Lounge. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and jump right into this episode. Like myself and a lot of you, I'm sure, we have been waiting for a update or even a date announcement for the KSI versus Logan 2 rematch. And we haven't heard anything for months. But KSI has recently uploaded a video on his main channel to actually give his side of the story and to actually put the blame on Logan Paul and Logan Paul's team as to why there hasn't been any update on the rematch. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to play a clip from his video, and the full link video is in the description, but here's just a little snippet.
You guys know facts, okay? What's actually going on between me and Logan Paul. So firstly, we need to check the legalities and the licensing processes for an amateur fight in each state that we want to consider fighting in. So obviously, since it's in the US, Logan's team has been tasked with that, but they haven't replied to confirm any yet. Secondly, we need to sort out distribution options for the rematch, and that takes time. Obviously, all of that takes the time needed for build-up as well as when it's going to be aired. Now, believe it or not, this will take around 4 months after such a deal is done. And we also need to make sure that the venue that we want is available at the time that we want it. Thirdly, in the meantime, Logan's team are meant to be looking for venues for us to fight in, which they're just not doing, and we haven't had any updates. So we're not going to be chasing for that because the US is not our bread and butter. Fourthly, we're working on protection and the legal side of things when it comes to streaming. Lastly, Logan's team suggested West Coast, which makes absolutely no sense due to the UK audience time zone. East Coast makes way more sense because then more people can watch it. Obviously, I don't care where the fight is. It could be in LA, it could be in Vegas, it could be in the fucking Arctic. I'm down to fight either way. But for the viewers, New York or Boston makes the most sense. And again, Logan's team haven't come back with anything when it comes to venues. So you can see why I'm just like,
And that was KSI. I'm very happy he put up this video, and I'm very happy to talk about some non-Digi related KSI news. As some of you know, they've been beefing over the last couple months. I think it has cooled down though. It's actually Logan's team who's dragging their feet, because originally everybody thought it was KSI, and his doing. The reason why, everything's going slow under a rematch, because Logan placed the blame on his podcast. And like I said, we haven't heard nothing from KSI, and that's so weird, for Logan to constantly put the blame on him, because he said they was supposed to fight in February. And so we was like, maybe it is KSI could get this family drama, and maybe he doesn't want to fight. But I'm happy KSI cleared up and put down all the rumors. But I knew the February date wasn't going to work on for several reasons. The first reason is because KSI's trainer, Vidal, I know you've seen him in KSI and Deji's video. He actually trained Deji for a little bit, and then Deji left his camp. But when he first joined Vidal's camp, he also was training James X and Gibb. In Vidal, he has fought, I believe, twice in the Olympics. And so, he's a credible boxer, amateur boxer, keyword. And so, the fight happened in August. Well, I believe in September, I could be wrong, either September or October, Vendale became pro. And so once he became pro, he moved to Vegas. We trained in Vegas, because that's where I believe he's under Mayweather Promotions. And so once he became pro, he had to train for the pro fight, which means he couldn't train KSI, he couldn't help KSI, because he, had to help himself first. So those 2 months that he was training for his own fight, he couldn't train KSI. And Goodell has been a huge part of KSI's boxing career. He trained for Joe Weller and this one. So like a guy who, and they call each other family. That's how close they are. So if your head trainer has been with you for a year and a half, and he's gone for half a training camp, it just will be the same. KSI would be kind of handicapped off a fight that was a draw. So like every day, every practice means a lot going to Logan Paul too. So that's the first one, cause like he went pro. Now if he didn't turn pro and if he was still an amateur, maybe they couldn't make February work. But I think that's the first reason why the February date wasn't gonna work, because it's training turning into pro. And the second reason why is the one that I'm pretty sure everyone knows, because he and Deji started beefing. And I'm not gonna go into the whole history of why he and Deji beef. You guys probably know why. If not, just ask why in the comment section. I'm sure somebody will tell you. But yeah, that's something, man. Like, for the lead up to Jake and in build to the Paul brothers versus KSI and Deji was brother versus brother as cold headlines. And I said Deji and KSI was training together for a second. And so leading to the rematch, I know it would have distracted KSI to train and still be beefing with his brother. I know it would. Because when you train, you want clear head, you want to focus on the fight. But it's hard to focus on the fight and trying to keep your family together. And so I know KSI wouldn't want that on his mind. Hey, Deji was already on Logan Paul's podcast. What's stopping Logan Paul from having Deji in his training camp leading up to the fight? When they do that stage, the press conference, what's stopping Logan Paul from having Deji right beside him? I'm saying? Like, it would have been ugly. KSI would have been a huge disadvantage. Logan Paul would have had a mental advantage, because not only is KSI fighting him, he's also fighting family as well. So, that would have been weird. Maybe Jake Paul would have went on KSI's side. Maybe Jake Paul would have went on KSI's side to kind of balance it out, because he still hates Deji. I don't know, but it just would have been weird. That's the second reason. And thirdly, I don't think anybody has really, talked about this. That was a pretty big turnaround from late August 25th to February. That's late, because all fighters need some time to rest. I think like 1-2 rest and then go to training camp. So I knew like February's too short of a turnaround. I was thinking maybe March or April, maybe spring breakish, which I think that's still the perfect time. Even though KSI wants to fight in November, I still think spring break should have been the perfect date. So I knew. So even if it wasn't his trainer going pro, even if it wasn't the Deji, beef, I think it was way too soon. Because like I said, after that grueling match they had to recover. So I was at 1 or 2 months. They got trained, they got do promotion, and then like KSI said in a video, they didn't decide on a venue yet. So Barry was those two aren't unrealistic. One thing I do want to touch on is from KSI's video. Like I said, the full videos and the link of the full video is in the description. KSI said he want his rematch against Logan to happen in November. My question is, why do you want your two fights to be 1 year apart? Because his fight with Logan was August 25th of 2018. So that means his rematch will happen on November 2019. 1 year and a couple months apart. I think that's too long, man. You don't want to lose any momentum, any steam coming from that fight, man. You guys had huge viewership, man. You had 800K on YouTube. You had millions streaming illegally on Twitch and other platforms, but you still had the views, man. Still have people caring about your product. Now, one of KSI's reason for wanting to push the rematch to November is he wants to have his YouTube channel popping again. Cause while he's training for boxing, he hasn't uploaded like he normally used to. He wants to do more videos with Simon, possibly another reality TV series. He wants to do more stuff with his music. He wants to go on tour with his music. He probably wants to do other possibilities, other opportunities, I should say, like maybe some TV shows, maybe some movies, stuff like that. So he wants to have his options out. Cause another thing we forget, he has been training to box for like over a year now. Because if you include a Joe Wilder fight and Logan, he's been boxing, and his channel has mainly been about boxing, or beef. It's been about beef and boxing for the last year and a half. So I understand he wants a break. He wants to try some other things. Because he's not a pro athlete. He is a YouTuber. What's funny is the perfect date for KSI versus Logan Paul 2 would actually be in August. The first fight was in August. Second fight will be honest to be kind of ironic, but I think that's the perfect date. I just think November's too long, man. It doesn't take a year and a half to train for a fight. And if let's say if KSI does do all the stuff he does, get his channel popping again, film another TV series with the Sidemen, tours, you don't want to have half of the year being unathletic and then like turn on a switch and then like the last 3-4 months straight for a fight. You know what I'm saying? You don't want that. Now could he over those 6 months period, could he do some part-time? Yeah, but it's different, man. Like, he wants to destroy Logan, man. So in my opinion, you should be 100% committed. Now I think you should be committed, then beat Logan, then do whatever you want, man.
I did also forget to mention the 4-month process in case I said to make the fight happen. And so if this is indeed Logan's team this January, so yeah, they couldn't fight, at April, if it is indeed a 4-month process. But yeah, I think November is a little bit too long, man. It's like his fans are younger, most of the YouTubers. See, I'm a fight fan. I want to see Conor McGregor, John Bones Jones, Deontay Wilder fight. But between that waiting period, there are other fights, that, keeps you interested in the sport. So if there isn't another YouTube boxing until November, it's going to hurt them. I think if it is indeed November, KSI versus Logan Paul 2, they got to have another event. Like, let Jake Paul fight Deji, or Jake Paul versus Face Banks. If that happened, that's fine. It's still going to have people interested into YouTube boxing. I think that's a lot better. People may not be lose interest in KSI versus Logan Paul themselves because they're YouTubers, they're entertainers. They're going to find other venues and other revenues. But the sport of YouTube boxing, I think we definitely need another event besides KSI versus Logan Paul. And I also want to ask this question because it hasn't been said yet. I wonder if Logan Paul wants this fight. I'm pretty sure he's like 8% with this KSI fight. But I don't know, I doubt that 20% probably isn't, because every time he runs to TMZ, he's always talking about UFC. He was damn white to sign him. And I'm like, if you're so hell-bent on finally beating KSI in boxing, why are you worried about a whole nother sport, a whole nother company? So if you want to say, I like it on KSI, then I'm moving to UFC, that's fine. But like, every time I see him, you're talking about, UFC this and CM Punk this, I'm just playing devil's advocate right now. I'm 8% sure Logan Paul wants to fight. But the 20%, I don't think he does. And that's not because he's scared of KSI. No, because they literally fought to a draw. It's just he could want something bigger. Or he's not as confident as he is with his boxing as he thought he was, because he was in the ring getting punched with KSI, but he knows how quick, how powerful KSI is, man. So I just want to throw it out there since nobody else is talking about it. I do want to mention Jake Paul, man. Jake Paul to me seems like he wants to fight. He's calling out every and anybody, man. Literally, once he defeat Deji, called Chris Brown. even though the fight wasn't happening, at least he called somebody out. He went on Instagram and like challenged like 4 different people. He challenged Dylan Danish. He challenged Face Banks. Like, Jake Paul wants to fight, man. He was even in the ring with Luis Ortiz, a guy who got knocked out by Deontay Wilder. You know, I believe that was his only loss of heavyweight. So do legit. So I think Jake Paul got that fighting bug in him. I really think that dude's serious. So I ain't questioning him, man. Like his brother said, he's always training every day. When Deji was in LA to record the Logan podcast, he told Deji, yo, come spar with me. I think Jake Paul wants to fight, man. So that's why I say if the Logan Paul KSI 2 is happening in November, I hope Jake Paul has his own with him headlining event. And like I said, probably in summer. If his event is like June, July, KSI Logan 2 is in November, I think that's would be a great timeline. You know, because now it's not as much interest because nobody else is calling anybody out, man. Because Deji caught it like Alex Wasabi and a couple of the Sidemen and of course Jake Paul. But since that, man, he's been beefing with his brother, beefing with his brother's cameraman, and now that he's getting into it, Keemstar, drama alert. So he ain't calling nobody out, man. Gibb, he called out Joe Weller, but Joe Weller ain't fighting nobody. So as of right now, man, there's zero interest into YouTube boxing. Now I did a video literally last week about the rumor fight between Joe Weller and Jamie Lynch, and we haven't heard anything since then. Like they just put a poster, which got people chatting, but we're like, okay, what's next? Is that gonna be its own event? Is that gonna be the undercard of KSI versus Logan Paul? Will it be part of a sketch and not an actual real fight? We don't know. I just know that Jake Paul wants to smoke, man. I know there's no way he can wait till November if it's true. So I hope he has his own event and he can pull it off. Just like if Joe Weller and Jimmy Lynch had their own event in London, he can pull that off as well. And didn't have Jake Paul have his event in Vegas or LA. I think that's probably the best thing to do. Have Jake Paul test the LA. Let Jake Paul test the LA or Vegas market for himself. The fight sells well. That's something that Logan can tell him. He can say, look, New York probably better for your time zone, in England. But man, look at the money. Like I said earlier in this episode, if people want to see it, people stay up, man. People find a way to watch it. So I think they're probably better, versus like, well, let's just see how LA is, So I'm going to wrap this up, guys. And before I do, like I said, if you listen to this on YouTube, subscribe to this Fight Lounge on YouTube. You can also hear us on Spotify and iTunes section of the podcast section. And so, in conclusion of this, to wrap this episode up, a part of me doesn't think this fight actually gonna happen, man. Because it's so long, like in November, man. It's January. We don't know where this thing is gonna happen. Like what? 10 months from now. Like that's a long time, man. I have no idea. I hope it does, man. Because YouTube boxing is a thing, man. We have that many. We have on YouTube, I believe, the top viewership with like 800,000 on YouTube, man. That's people paying. On Twitch and other illegal streaming sites, man, that was in the millions. But they have something, man. They have something that people will watch. So part of me think it won't because the date is so far away, man. I'm like, huh? November? Like you said, the process doesn't, it takes 4 months. So like if you do the processing for 4 months, do some training, do some promo work. Like I said, August or September will be the perfect date, but hey, we'll see. Now, I do believe that the next YouTube boxing event will happen in LA, but it will be headlined by Jake Paul. Now, who will be his opponent? I don't know. I think he'll be stuck with Deji. He called out Face Banks, and we haven't heard anything from him. I think Dylan is out of his league because Dylan is literally signed to Bellator, and he's an MMA fighter, so I don't see that happening. But between now and August or now until November, he can find an opponent. Even if it's not Digibot, you can stuck with him. So I think the next big YouTube boxing event will happen in LA. Will be headlined by Jake Paul. I'm hoping that we get an event sooner than November. But hey, we'll see. And just like I said, man, anytime I get any update, I will post it on my YouTube channel, on my IG, on Twitter. Even if it's not in the form of a podcast, I'll still give an update. So yeah, I'm going to talk to you guys later. And subscribe, follow us on all social media accounts. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Peace.